the diverse environments of Africa, advantage lies not in individual strength, but in how a group controls the space from the outset. Wild dogs don't rush to attack. They observe, adjust their positions, and wait for the moment their prey loses its balance before accelerating in unison. And when even a small shift can change the entire situation, what truly determines the final outcome? On the vast grasslands, lions are muscular predators that excel in short bursts of attack. An adult can reach speeds of nearly 60 kilometers per hour over short distances, enough to take down large prey. When hunting, they prefer ambushes to long chases, and females often take on the role of approaching. When faced with this hunting tactic, the pack of wild dogs doesn't charge straight in, but maintains distance, circling and changing positions rhythmically. They observe the lion's reactions to find openings. As the lion turns in various directions, the pack of dogs closes in short bursts before withdrawing, maintaining consistent pressure. Faced with successive close-range attacks, the lion switches to defense and loses its initial attack rhythm. It tries to react with short lunges, but the dogs dodge in time and continue to press. After a short distance, the lion chooses to leave the area to reduce risk. This result shows that in open space, coordination and a consistent movement rhythm can diminish the effectiveness of individual attacks, even from a superior species. In tropical and subtropical regions, crocodiles live in rivers, lakes, and swamps, where many animals congregate to drink. In Africa, Nile crocodiles appear along large rivers, where the food source is always stable. Most of the time, they lie still near the water's edge, observing their surroundings, maintaining a waiting position. The pack of wild dogs approached and began circling the grass. They maintained their distance, then shifted positions step by step to test the crocodile's reaction. As the distance narrowed, the pack accelerated and closed in from multiple directions, creating constant pressure that forced the crocodile to turn and find its way back to the water. This pressure caused the crocodile to constantly change direction and struggle to maintain stability. It tried to break through the encirclement, but the pack of wild dogs kept blocking its path. After a few seconds, the crocodile found an opening and slithered towards the water. The encounter ended when it returned to its familiar environment, demonstrating the advantage of adapting to the environment. Between dense forests and sparsely forested areas, leopards often choose high vantage points to observe their surroundings. They live solitary lives, move discreetly, and avoid direct confrontations with other species. When they detect danger, leopards usually leave their location early and move to another area, maintaining distance and preserving their advantage in the complex environment. From their elevated position, the pack of wild dogs sensed movement and began tracking from the ground. They moved slowly, maintaining a wide formation to control the direction of travel. When the leopard left the branch and touched the ground, The pack accelerated and closed in from multiple directions, forcing it to react constantly. Closed on the ground, the leopard had to constantly turn and began to slow its pace. It sped towards a wooded area to find an escape route, but the pack of wild dogs remained in pursuit. After a few seconds, the leopard reached a favorable terrain and broke away from the chase, demonstrating how terrain determines the ability to maintain distance. In arid and semi-desert regions of Africa, such as Namibia and Botswana, oryx are adapted to conditions with little water and high temperatures. They move across open terrain, observing from a distance and detecting danger early. When unusual signs are detected, oryx retreat before being approached, maintaining a safe distance and a steady rhythm of movement in open environments. From an initial distance, the pack of wild dogs maintained a slow pace to avoid detection. When the oryx accelerated its retreat, the entire pack simultaneously increased speed and pursued closely behind. They maintained close contact in short bursts, preventing the prey from stabilizing its course. Forced by this constant pace, the oryx had to change direction and gradually slow down. It tried to maintain its running rhythm and find an escape route, but all its movements were followed. After a few seconds, the pack of dogs closed in and took control, ending the chase. This shows that initial advantages can be quickly eroded when the pursuit is maintained at a steady pace. In open woodlands and semi-desert areas, hyenas live in well-organized groups. They travel long distances to find food, preferring open areas with ample opportunity to approach prey. When approaching or competing for food, each individual maintains a specific position, creating a stable structure in their movement. Based on this movement pattern, the pack of wild dogs doesn't approach directly but observes. One dog moves forward to attract attention, while the other circles around to block the hyena's path. When the hyena reacts, the pack of dogs quickly shifts positions and applies pressure from multiple directions. This shift forces the hyena to constantly turn, distracting its attention. It tries to maintain its position and react, but cannot maintain control when approached from multiple directions. After a while, the pack of dogs gradually reduces the distance, while the hyena retains its original position. When both have high endurance, the one that maintains a coordinated rhythm and changes positions appropriately will control the situation better in the long run, contributing to the balance between species in the same environment. In the vast grasslands, wild buffalo are not predators, but possess very strong defensive instincts. They prioritize protecting their young and react quickly when they detect danger. When threatened, adult buffalo turn to face the threat instead of running away, maintaining their stance to protect the herd and continuing this pattern of reaction. As soon as an opening appeared, the pack of wild dogs spotted a buffalo that had separated from the group and began observing from a distance. They circled around, adjusting their positions to observe its reaction. When the buffalo turned defensively, the entire pack accelerated and closed in short bursts, forcing the buffalo to react in multiple directions simultaneously. Having to turn in multiple directions gradually destabilized the buffalo. It tried to counterattack to break free, but the pack of dogs followed closely, maintaining their pace. After a few seconds, the dogs gained a favorable position and controlled the situation, demonstrating that when cornered in open space, defensive capabilities diminish. On the edges of forests and rocky terrain in Africa, baboons are well adapted to a variety of conditions. They are agile climbers, use their limbs efficiently, and observe their surroundings to detect danger. When threatened, adults can stand still to create an opening before retreating, maintaining their agility. When the monkey leaves its safe position and descends to a lower area, the pack of wild dogs maintains a wide formation and approaches cautiously. They move in circles, adjusting their positions to observe the monkey's reaction. When the distance is close enough, the entire pack accelerates and closes in from multiple directions, forcing the monkey to constantly turn. The constant movement diminishes the monkey's ability to control its position. It heads towards areas with trees or rocks to escape, but the pack of dogs remains in pursuit. After a short distance, the pack of dogs takes a favorable position and forces the monkey out of the area, ending with the collective advantage. In the grasslands of East and South Africa, such as the Serengeti, impalas often stand on the boundary between the grass and the bush. They forage and observe, always ready to leave when they detect danger. When threatened, the entire pack disperses within seconds, completely altering their movement pattern. Noticing a change in the prey's movements, the pack of wild dogs began to corner the impala, relentlessly approaching from multiple directions, forcing it to dive into the water to escape. Instead of attacking immediately, they stalked along the banks, observing the prey's swimming direction in the middle of the stream. Waiting for the moment, the impala slowed down and lost its rhythm. The entire pack accelerated, swarming from both sides, cornering and gradually narrowing the space in the water, leaving the prey with no escape route. After a few seconds, the pack of wild dogs gained control of the area, ending the chase. This demonstrates that dispersion only provides a temporary advantage when the predator remains close. Unlike many predators that rely on brute force, Wild dogs maintain their advantage through continuous coordination in each step of their approach. They observe, patiently wait, and exploit subtle changes to shape the course of events in their favor. In nature, the outcome is not determined in a single moment, but gradually through the ability to control the pace and sequence of the entire process. In nature, even the most fearsome predators don't always win, and every attack carries a risk. There are moments when prey reacts at the right time, disrupting the entire approach and forcing the hunter to pause in the throes of the attack. It is in these brief setbacks that power is halted. The tide turns, and the outcome is decided in seconds. Throughout the savannas and woodlands of Africa, hyenas adapt to a wide range of conditions, from expansive grasslands to arid regions. They are not dependent on fixed terrain, but follow their food sources. And this adaptability means encounters often begin unexpectedly. After subduing its prey, the cheetah had barely settled in the grass when it noticed the hyena approaching. It retreated slightly to maintain distance, while its opponent approached slowly but steadily, applying pressure. The longer the fight dragged on, the more the cheetah's defenses were weakened. The situation shifted when the hyena pressed relentlessly, preventing the cheetah from regaining its rhythm. The cheetah lost momentum, forced to leave the area, and abandoned its prey. From that point on, control belonged to the more persistent one. In short, the deciding factor is not speed, but the ability to maintain pressure. When the rhythm is broken, opportunities diminish rapidly. And when pressure is relentlessly increasing, the outcome usually favors the more persistent. In the grasslands, scrublands, and woodlands of Africa, hedgehogs live in areas with dry leaves and low-lying terrain, where they can easily hide and find food. Some species even appear near farms and residential areas, taking advantage of the abundant food sources and thus maintaining a state of alert against unexpected threats. On dry land, a leopard spots a porcupine and begins to approach, observing its reaction and maneuvering, adjusting its direction to find a weakness. When the time is right, the leopard suddenly lunges, but the porcupine immediately curls up, entering a tight defensive posture. The attack quickly loses its effectiveness as the leopard cannot overcome the porcupine's sharp spines, forcing it to retreat. Subsequent attempts are unsuccessful, increasing the risk. Finally, the leopard gives up and leaves when it can no longer maintain control. In this type of confrontation, advantage doesn't come from strength, but from the ability to maintain a defensive posture at the right time, deflecting the approach. When the rhythm is disrupted, opportunities gradually disappear, and when the defensive structure holds firm, the outcome quickly favors the smaller creature. On the vast Serengeti savanna, wildebeest congregate in open areas where visibility allows for early detection of danger and access to water dictates their movement. Millions of individuals migrate seasonally over long distances, and this constant movement sometimes leaves them exposed in open spaces. Amidst the low grass, a lion silently approached a gazelle, adjusting its approach to match its target's movement. It didn't charge straight ahead, choosing a favorable angle, then suddenly accelerating. However, the gazelle immediately turned, maintaining its position and preventing the gap from being closed. The battle reversed as the gazelle proactively advanced, using its large body and horns to force the lion to retreat and constantly adjust. The distance was maintained, preventing the attack from being sustained. Finally, the lion gave up and left the area. In this type of confrontation, the deciding factor isn't the initial charge, but rather controlling space and maintaining the rhythm of the reaction. When the distance isn't broken, the advantage doesn't lie with the attacker, and the situation quickly shifts in favor of defense. Along the Amazon River's tributaries, caiman crocodiles live in murky waters where visibility is limited and movement is perceived more through vibrations than visual observation. They lurk beneath the surface, waiting for the opportune moment to ambush. And this environment makes any activity on shore vulnerable to exploitation. At the water's edge, a leopard paused to observe the crocodile, adjusting its position to avoid detection. It maintained its distance and waited for its opponent's reaction. When the time came, the leopard suddenly plunged into the water, forcing the crocodile to retreat to deeper water to escape. The situation changed when the crocodile dived deep and held its position underwater, preventing the leopard from maintaining pressure. Despite continuing to track and move along the shore, the leopard could not find an opportunity to gain control. Finally, it stopped and retreated when the situation was no longer favorable. When environmental boundaries change, the outcome depends not on the initial attack, but on utilizing the environment effectively. If the advantage leans towards the side familiar with the terrain, all attempts to approach become less effective, and the situation quickly closes. In the arid regions and open forests of Africa, warthogs live in open areas near water sources, where they can easily observe danger and maintain distance from predators. They often forage in open grasslands, but always stay near their burrows. And this reliance on terrain gives them an advantage when being pursued. One afternoon on the savannah, near the entrance to a herd of wild boars, a pride of lions silently approached, lowering their bodies and circling to get closer. When they were close enough, they suddenly lunged, forcing the herd to react. The young retreated into the burrow, while the adults turned to face them, shifting to a direct defensive stance. The situation reversed when the warthog used the burrow's system to change direction, causing the lions to lose track and fail to maintain pressure. While the predators waited at the entrance, the prey emerged from another opening and left the area. Ultimately, the lions gave up and lost control of the situation. In such situations, the advantage doesn't come from strength, but from the ability to utilize the terrain and maintain an escape route, diverting the entire approach. When the pursuit is cut off, the rhythm of the hunt is disrupted, and when the prey maintains its distance, the outcome changes. In the savanna grasslands and swamps of Africa, buffalo often congregate near water sources, where mud provides coolness and protection from insects. They move in large herds, changing areas seasonally in search of water and grass, and this constant movement often leads to unavoidable encounters. In an open clearing in the grassland, an old lioness spotted a buffalo that had separated from the herd and began to approach, lowering her body to stalk it, thereby closing the distance. She maintained a slow pace, waiting for the opportune moment, then suddenly accelerated, turning the situation into a direct confrontation. The situation quickly reversed when the buffalo turned around, using its size and strength to create distance, forcing the lioness to constantly change direction and gradually lose control. Other members of the herd approached, increasing the pressure, causing the lioness to lose the initiative and retreat, leaving her target behind. In such encounters, the outcome doesn't depend on the first strike, but on the ability to maintain position against a collective reaction. When distance is maintained, the advantage gradually shifts, and when the initiative changes, the situation rarely reverses. In the expansive savannas of Africa, impalas live in areas with both grass and low scrub, foraging and watching for danger. They are usually near water sources and move in herds, always keeping their distance from predators. Therefore, any exposure to open terrain makes them easy targets. A lion stealthily approaches its impala on the grass, lowering its body and adjusting its trajectory to track the pride. It maintains a slow pace, waiting for the right moment, then suddenly accelerates and lunges forward. The impala reacts immediately, changing direction rapidly and leaping, maintaining distance and disrupting the lion's approach. The attack is halted as the impala maintains its distance with speed and sharp changes of direction, causing the lion to lose its rhythm. The distance continues to widen, forcing the predator to stop. The opportunity slips out of control, and the hunt ends unfavorably. In these chases, speed and the ability to change direction are the decisive factors, deviating from the entire approach process. When the rhythm is broken, the advantage disappears, and when the distance is maintained, the tide turns decisively in favor of the prey. On the vast savanna, a lion accelerates, charging straight ahead in what seems like a perfectly calculated attack. But as soon as the distance narrows, the prey turns defensively, using its horns, claws, or a powerful kick to halt the approach. The advantage is quickly broken. In just seconds, the hunt shifts direction as the pressure from the prey's reaction and surrounding competitors begins to put the predator at a disadvantage. Among Africa's great rivers and lakes, hippos live in shallow water where they can stand, near wide grasslands for nocturnal feeding, and in hot climates that force them to immerse themselves during the day. In the Nile or Serengeti, they often congregate in large groups, and it is this water's edge that creates a clear boundary between safety and risk. On the water's edge, a pride of lions approached a lone hippo, lowering its body and veering off course. But as the distance shortened, the hippo spun around, extended its jaws, and charged straight ahead, forcing its attackers to retreat, causing the lions to fall back while the massive animal returned to safe waters. When the boundary between land and water becomes the deciding factor, the advantage lies not in speed, but in spatial control. And this event demonstrates that simply maintaining the right position can halt an entire hunt. In the arid and semi-desert lands of Africa, oryxes live in sparsely forested, open terrain with good visibility. They tolerate heat well, travel long distances to find water and low grass, and their long, straight horns, which can extend over 3 feet, are always pointed forward for defense. In this poorly sheltered environment, any approach comes at the cost of distance. On the open savanna, 2 lions spotted an oryx that had diverged from the pride and was approaching from the low bushes, lowering themselves to block its escape route. When close enough, they accelerated, one lunging at its shoulder. But the oryx stopped, turned its head, and thrust its horns forward, forcing the attacker to dodge, disrupting the hunt and causing both to retreat and give up. In open terrain, where speed is not enough to determine the outcome, the ability to stop at the right moment and react precisely is what maintains a safe distance, and the sequence of events just described shows that timely defense can end a hunt. In the East African savannas such as the Serengeti and Masai Mara, buffalo live in large herds near water sources, moving between tropical grasslands and semi-arid areas. Their bodies, weighing thousands of pounds, and their curved horns forming a natural shield, often maintain tight formations, and this structure makes them difficult to approach. A pride of lions crept along the dry grass, lowering their bodies and splitting up to trap a young buffalo at the edge of the herd. They maintained their distance, then suddenly accelerated, closing in. But as soon as the attack began, the adult buffalo turned around and quickly advanced, forcing the predators to slow down and retreat. The tide quickly turned as several buffaloes faced each other, advancing step by step, continuously widening the distance. The lions no longer had a chance to separate their individual targets and were forced to give up, retreating from the area while the buffalo herd maintained its formation. In open spaces, where hiding places are short, collective strength and synchronized reactions can halt a hunt, and this development demonstrates that maintaining formation at the right moment is crucial to the outcome. In the dry savannas of Africa, where tall acacia trees and clear views prevail, giraffes live to both forage and observe from afar. They avoid dense forests because they are cumbersome and cannot survive in the harsh desert. A mother nearly 18 feet tall stands beside her calf in the open space, and it is this openness that makes any danger impossible to hide, thus revealing any unusual movements. From a distance, the lions spotted their target after hours of travel. They fanned out, lowered their bodies, and approached step by step. When the distance was short enough, one lion suddenly accelerated and lunged at the fawn. But just as the pounce formed, the mother deer spun around and delivered a swift kick, forcing the attacker to stop in a split second. The lions did not press on, but began to retreat, each lion maintaining distance as they realized the danger from the accurate kicks. The mother deer remained in position, constantly shifting to shield her fawn, and the outcome became clear. The lions were forced to give up. In an environment with no hiding places, decisions are made quickly, and the outcome does not belong to the first attacker, but to the individual who knows how to maintain distance, control the situation, and react at the right moment to survive. As the sun rises high over the East African grasslands, zebras congregate in large herds in the Serengeti and Masai Mara, where the open savanna provides seasonal grass and water sources. They move constantly in search of food and maintain safe distances. But amidst this dense migration, there are always individuals that become separated and easy targets for tracking. Far away on the riverbank, a lone lion chose the moment when the zebra pack dispersed, lowered its body, and accelerated towards a zebra that had strayed from the pack. A chase ensued. But as the distance narrowed, the zebra spun around and delivered a powerful kick backward, forcing the predator to halt and lose its rhythm. The chase was interrupted. The lion could no longer close in and gradually slowed down. while the zebra used the opening to distance itself from the danger zone. The result was clear. The predator was forced to stop the pursuit and give up. On the vast grasslands, where every movement is visible, speed isn't always the deciding factor. It's the right timing and the ability to create distance that hold the chance of survival. Straight across the vast savannas of Africa, hyenas congregate in open areas near water sources and migration routes, rarely venturing into dense forests or arid deserts. They hunt in packs and observe from a distance, often following wildebeest herds in the Serengeti. And this open environment allows for effective coordination. In the low bushes along the trail, a lioness spotted a pack of hyenas encircling her from multiple directions. She immediately rose to her feet, alert, but their overwhelming numbers prevented her from retreating. They moved continuously, applying pressure and closing in, forcing the lioness to change positions to defend herself. The tide quickly turned in favor of the majority, as many hyenas advanced together, maintaining close distances and pressing in unison. The lioness could not sustain her attack and was forced to retreat further. The outcome clearly evident as she withdrew from the area due to the coordinated efforts of the entire pack. When coordination becomes the key factor in an encounter, the advantage lies not in a single individual, but in how the group maintains pressure, and this development demonstrates how organization and movement can determine the outcome. Along the savannas and scrublands of South Africa, Namibia, Kenya, and Tanzania, rhinos are distributed according to species with different habits. White rhinos usually graze in open grasslands, while black rhinos hide in thick bushes. Their bodies, weighing thousands of pounds, and their hard horns always pointing forward make any approach risky. On the edge of the forest, a pride of lions approached the rhinoceros, which suddenly veered off course and accelerated. But when the gap widened, the rhino stopped, turned, and charged straight ahead with its horns pointed directly at the lions, forcing them to dodge, disrupting the hunt and causing the pride to retreat and give up. In direct confrontations, when the element of surprise is gone, strength and decisive reaction can reverse the situation, and this development shows that not every hunt can continue to the end. As the sun sets over Africa's freshwater rivers and lakes, crocodiles choose shallow waters with abundant prey, especially along the Nile where animals descend to drink. They lie motionless on the banks or at the water's edge, and this very silence makes any approach unpredictable. Near the riverbank mudflats, the pride of lions spotted a crocodile basking in the sun, lowered its body, and split up to approach, When close enough, one lion lunged, but the crocodile immediately turned its head, opened its jaws wide, and sprang up to counterattack, forcing the attacker to retreat, disrupting the hunt and causing the lions to lose their opportunity and retreat when the animal safely slid into the water. Immediately after escaping into the water, controlling its position became more important than any attack. And this sequence of events shows that simply returning to its natural habitat can prevent a predator from failing. The African grasslands are not only places of survival, but also battlefields of constant confrontation between predators. Among them, hyenas stand out with their persistent tactics, ability to read the situation, and seize opportunities when pressure begins to build. From stealthy approaches to accelerating close-range attacks, each encounter demonstrates how hyenas control space and change the course of the battle. In sparsely forested and savanna areas, leopards operate alone and maintain distance from their surroundings, initially taking the initiative. They use the canopy and terrain to ambush, observe before acting, and maintain an advantage, keeping control of the situation. Their well-developed shoulder and neck muscles help leopards control their prey, thus shifting them into a state of being clearly watched. Soon after, as the scent of prey spreads, hyenas begin to approach from the edge of the area, maintaining distance to avoid detection and building initial pressure. They observe and wait for the opportune moment before the leopard has brought the prey to a safe position, further closing the distance and tightening the space. When the opportunity becomes clear, the hyena accelerates, closing in and launching an attack from behind. As the pressure increases, the leopard loses its ground advantage and must move to avoid confrontation, altering the course of the battle. The hyena maintained its position close to and controlled the area around the food source, holding the advantage and maintaining pressure. The confrontation ended when the leopard retreated to a higher position, while the hyena retained control of the prey. The events show that the leopard held the advantage by controlling the prey in the early stages, before the pressure became apparent. As the pressure continued, its ability to hold the prey decreased, and its position became unstable, causing its advantage to diminish. The hyena took advantage of this moment to maintain control and end the confrontation. In the vast grasslands of East and South Africa, wildebeest move in herds, maintaining distance to observe each other and remain constantly vigilant. They are well adapted to open environments where their long-distance vision helps them detect danger early, maintaining a stable formation. Their high endurance and ability to sustain long journeys allow wildebeest to maintain a steady rhythm. Soon, as the herd passes through an open area, hyenas spread out and observe from the edges, maintaining initial pressure. They don't approach immediately but take turns following to force the wildebeest to change direction and constantly adjust, further tightening the space. When an individual begins to lose rhythm, the hyena accelerates, closing in and launching an attack from multiple directions. When the pressure increases significantly, The targeted individual loses its rhythm and the distance narrows, changing the course of the battle. Hyenas continue to pursue, maintaining their positions from multiple directions and controlling the target's movement space, sustaining their advantage. The hunt ends when the hyenas maintain control and defeat the individual, while the wildebeest continue to move. Wildebeest maintain their advantage by maintaining a stable formation and movement rhythm before it is broken. When the rhythm is disrupted, their defenses decrease and distances are no longer maintained. Exposing weaknesses, hyenas maintain sustained pressure and seize opportune moments to control the target. At this stage, the hyena maintains its position behind and uses its body weight to limit the antelope's head toss and horn use. The targeted individual gradually loses its rhythm and cannot maintain a stable direction when attempting to change course. The hunt ended when the time is right, the antelope lowers its guard during rest periods after feeding. The hyena moves low from behind, maintaining distance to avoid detection and maintaining initial pressure. It follows, spreading out to force the antelope's movement, then accelerates to close in with its rear body and launch an attack. In the open grasslands of East and South Africa, antelopes maintain positions in areas with good visibility to detect threats early. They generally avoid dense vegetation, staying elevated whenever possible and maintaining constant vigilance within the herd. Their good stamina, ability to maintain a steady pace, and well-developed horns and neck and shoulder muscles help them maintain distance when approached, and pressure begins to build. In the vast, sparsely forested savannas of Africa, wild dogs operate in packs in open spaces with excellent visibility. They maintain a reasonable distance and constantly observe to control their surroundings. Their high stamina and rapid recovery allow wild dogs to maintain an advantage when moving and becoming a target. At that point, the wild dog pack had just finished hunting and were holding the carcass of their prey. Hyenas, attracted, began approaching from the edge of the area and applied initial pressure. They moved cautiously, then accelerated to close in and launch an attack to break through the defenses. In this situation, the wild dog pack formed a defensive circle and constantly shifted positions to maintain distance. As the number of hyenas increased, the formation stretched and the advantage diminished. The confrontation ended when the wild dogs retreated, and the hyenas gained control of the food source. In dry grasslands and dense bushland, rhinos maintain a steady pace and often move near water sources to regulate their body temperature. Their thick skin helps them reduce the impact of the environment and maintain a consistent movement rhythm, thereby controlling the surrounding space. Their strength is concentrated in their head and neck, and their short bursts of acceleration give them an initial advantage. When a mother rhino appears with her calf on the grassland, Hyenas approach from multiple directions while maintaining a safe distance, creating initial pressure. They don't attack directly, but circle around, constantly checking the mother's reaction and trying to separate her from her calf, gradually closing the gap. When a small opening appears, the hyena increases pressure and closes in to try and break through the protective position, forcing the situation into close confrontation. As the pressure increases, the mother rhino maintains her position at the front and adjusts her movement to shield her calf, maintaining her advantage. If the rhinoceros formation holds firm, the hyena has no chance of controlling the area and is forced to retreat, reducing its effectiveness. The confrontation ends when the rhinoceros holds its position and forces the hyena to retreat. In open grasslands near rivers and lakes, buffalo maintain large herds and move in formation to constantly observe and maintain initial stability. They utilize open space to detect threats from afar, while maintaining close ties between individuals in the herd, thus maintaining control. Their thick horns and muscular necks and shoulders help buffalo maintain control of the space. When the herd enters an open area, hyenas spread out and approach from multiple directions at a safe distance, creating initial pressure. They don't charge directly, but follow, forcing the herd's direction of movement and continuously monitoring their reaction, further tightening the space. When an individual shows signs of slowing down, the hyena accelerates, closing in from behind and launching an attack to try to break through the defensive position, shifting to close quarters combat. Once the pressure clearly increases, buffalo lower their heads and turn to maintain formation, preventing any gaps for the opponent to approach, thus maintaining their advantage. The herd continuously adjusted their positions and supported each other to maintain a safe distance, reducing the effectiveness of the approach. The confrontation ended when the buffalo held its formation and forced the hyena to retreat from the area, closing the situation. In the open savanna, with low grass and scattered bushes, lions establish their territory around water sources and prey gathering points. Their wide field of vision allows them to observe early and organize ambushes when necessary, maintaining the initiative. Their well-developed shoulder, neck, and foreleg muscles help lions control space, shifting to a state of being watched from a distance. As soon as the lion pride leaves the feeding ground, hyenas maintain their distance and only approach when their alertness decreases, creating initial pressure. They observe from the edge of the area, waiting for an individual to separate from the group or slow down, gradually closing the distance. When conditions are favorable, the hyenas accelerate, lunging to try to bite and pull from behind, forcing the formation to react immediately. When the distance is shortened, lions react quickly and advance to maintain a safe distance, turning the situation around. They coordinate as a group, overwhelming and pushing back approaching individuals, maintaining control. The battle ends when the lions hold the area and force the hyenas to retreat. Overall, the lion holds the advantage when defending territory and food sources. When an individual separates from the group, the hyena can exploit the situation, but must retreat quickly if the risk increases. The balance tips in favor of the lion due to its strength and quick reflexes, while the hyena maintains its advantage through observation and timing. In savanna grasslands and semi-arid regions, zebras live in herds and maintain distance to observe each other, remaining constantly vigilant. The open environment allows them to detect danger early and maintain stable movement, preserving their formation. High stamina, long-distance running ability, and powerful hind kicks help zebras maintain distance when approached. Soon, the hyena begins to move slowly from behind, maintaining a low formation to avoid detection and preserve the initial distance. They don't attack immediately, but follow for an extended period, spreading out to force the zebra's direction, further constricting space before accelerating to close in and launch an attack from multiple directions. When the zebra begins to slow down and constantly change direction, the hyena increases pressure from multiple sides, forcing one individual to separate from the herd. When the pressure increases significantly, the separated zebra loses its rhythm and constantly changes direction, altering the course of the battle. The hyena continues to closely monitor and control the surrounding space, maintaining its position from multiple directions to gain an advantage. The battle ends when the hyena gains control of the separated individual, while the zebra pack maintains its formation and moves away from the area. In the snowy plains and frozen forests of the north, hunts often begin silently, only to quickly escalate into ferocious attacks. Predators use the terrain, the weather, and patience to their advantage, stalking their prey. In this hostile environment, every encounter is a test of survival, where a single moment of carelessness can completely alter the outcome. In the cold forests of Alaska and Canada, grizzly bears move slowly in search of food amidst harsh weather. Grizzly bears are highly sensitive to any movement near their food source and react quickly to the appearance of other animals. Their strong jaws, large muscles, and thick fur give them an advantage in the cold. But on the edge of the snow-covered forest, a wolf has begun to appear near a carcass. From the edge of the snow-covered forest, the wolf silently approaches the carcass, constantly observing the grizzly bear's reaction. The wolf doesn't approach directly, but moves in a wide circle, closing in, and then quickly retreating to find an opportunity to claim the food. As the distance narrows around the carcass, the grizzly bear also continuously turns to maintain its position of control. The grizzly bear held onto its prey with its body strength, refusing to leave the area where it stood amidst the cold snow. The wolf continued to charge from multiple directions, widening the distance and forcing the grizzly bear to constantly change direction. The confrontation ended when the wolf pulled away from the dangerous distance, while the grizzly bear continued to hold on to its prey thanks to its stable defense. In the cold, high mountains, mountain goats often move in small herds across steep cliffs and snow-covered slopes. Mountain goats are always vigilant for unusual movement around their foraging areas, while the adults constantly observe to protect the group. Their ability to cling to rocks and maintain balance allows mountain goats to control the terrain very well. From atop the rocky slope, the snow leopard silently follows, using the rugged terrain to conceal itself. The snow leopard quietly closes the gap as the mountain goat moves near the edge of a narrow rock. As the escape route ahead narrows, the snow leopard suddenly swoops down, forcing the mountain goat to sharply change direction on the slippery slope. The mountain goat tries to swerve to maintain distance, but the space ahead is dwindling. Snow leopard continued to relentlessly pursue the mountain slope, forcing mountain goat to constantly change direction in the dangerous area. As the cliff chase drew to a close, the advantage ultimately belonged to snow leopard. In the long, cold, snowy landscape, the caribou herd moves slowly and maintains close formation. Caribou have a strong survival instinct and can sense danger from afar through scent, sound, and movement. Their strong legs allow them to maintain a long run, but the deep snow begins to disrupt the formation behind them. Swerve to maintain distance, but the space ahead. Wolf silently observes from a safe distance, constantly studying the caribou herd's movements. Wolf doesn't rush to approach, but observes the footprints, the rhythm of movement, and individuals that begin to slow down on the rough snow. As the distance narrows, the caribou herd also begins to lose its advantage in maintaining formation. One caribou is separated from the herd and tries to speed up to rejoin the group, but the deep snow slows its pace. Wolf pursues from multiple directions, continuously closing the gap and forcing the caribou to change direction in the vast snowy area. The confrontation ended when the caribou lost its advantage from the herd, while the wolf regained control of the direction of movement thanks to its sustained coordination. In the cold forests of North America, moose typically move slowly across soft ground and wide swamps. They are highly alert to sounds, smells, and movement around their habitat. Their large bodies and long, strong legs give them a clear advantage. But when accompanied by their young, protective distance becomes even more crucial. Along the damp ground near the clearing, the grizzly bear silently observes and maintains a distance from the mother moose. The grizzly bear constantly changes its approach angle to find a gap between the mother moose and her offspring near the edge of the swamp. As the distance narrows, the grizzly bear lunges forward and forcefully strikes the mother moose's shoulder. The adult moose quickly turns to shield its offspring, but the soft ground slows its pace. The grizzly bear continued to approach from the flank, not giving Moose time to create a safe distance. The confrontation ended when Moose managed to keep the hatchling close behind, while the grizzly bear gradually retreated from the cold swamp area. In the cold forests and vast mountains of North America, the elk herd moves slowly through the snow to find less wind. Elks are highly sensitive and can detect danger from afar thanks to their well-developed sense of smell and hearing. Their large bodies and strong legs help them maintain a steady pace, but the deep snow begins to slow the rear of the group. Wolf silently follows from a safe distance, constantly observing the elk herd's movement through the snow tracks. Wolf doesn't go straight into the middle of the herd, but constantly changes angles to find individuals starting to lose their rhythm on the heavy snow. As the distance narrows in the cold forest, an elk at the back also begins to drift away from the front. The elk tries to regain its balance to rejoin the herd, but even a slight delay widens the gap. Wolf approaches from multiple directions and constantly attacks from the flanks to disrupt the elk's movement on the deep snow. The match ended with elk losing their advantage in terms of formation, while Wolf maintained their lead thanks to their excellent teamwork and accurate terrain reading. In dense, narrow jungle terrain, wild boars constantly change direction to maintain distance from danger ahead. Wild boars react quickly when approached and always turn their heads directly to use their fangs to control the area near their bodies. These short but powerful turns give wild boars an advantage at close range. While wild boars maintain their movement, the pack of wolves begins to form a formation and approach from multiple directions. One wolf moves forward to draw attention, while others continuously approach from the flanks and rear. As wild boars are forced to constantly change direction, the pack of wolves continues to attack quickly and then retreat, gradually narrowing the space ahead. After many turns in narrow terrain, wild boars begin to slow down and can no longer maintain their initial reaction speed. The wolf pack continued to close the gap and maintained formation around the wild boar's movement area. As the wild boar's movement speed slowed significantly, the confrontation quickly ended with the wolf pack ultimately holding the advantage. On the edge of North American forests, deer often stops near open grass to search for food and observe its surroundings. Deers are highly alert and will react immediately to any unusual sounds or smells in the forest. Their strong legs help them maintain a steady pace. But once they leave the cover of trees, the escape route ahead begins to narrow. Behind fallen trees near the damp forest, grizzly bear moves slowly, keeping its body hidden in the shadows. Grizzly bear doesn't chase for long, but waits for deer to enter a sloping area where the slippery ground makes changing direction more difficult. When the distance is close enough in the narrow forest path, grizzly bear immediately lunges forward and crashes into deer's body. Deer tries to speed up to escape the sloping forest area, but the damp terrain causes its running rhythm to become unstable. Grizzly bear continued to close in from behind, not giving deer time to regain a safe distance. The confrontation ended with grizzly bear maintaining the advantage thanks to precise timing, while deer was unable to escape the narrow jungle area. Along the cold rivers of the northern forests, salmon swim upstream to return to their birthplace and continue their breeding season. Salmon have excellent water memory, helping them find the same river again after a long time living in the ocean. Their good endurance allows them to overcome strong currents. Near shallow water, grizzly bears wait at the river's edge, observing the salmon's movements. They choose a narrow spot where the salmon must leap to overcome the current. While the salmon continuously leap, the grizzly bear suddenly leaps from the water's edge and uses its front paws to pounce directly on the direction the salmon has just leapt. The salmon try to continue swimming with the strong current, but the narrow area leaves it with few escape routes. Grizzly bear held its position in the shallow water and quickly took control of the salmon that had just been intercepted. The confrontation ended with the salmon becoming grizzly bear's prey, while the school of fish behind continued swimming through the cold water. After chases and attacks amidst the freezing snow and ice, each species reveals survival strategies honed over generations. Whether predator or prey, advantage is fleeting before the tide turns against them, fueled by terrain, stamina, and reflexes. In the harsh northern wilderness, the struggle for survival continues daily.